My mom grew up down here at the market. Since 1971, our family has owned this stand. I just waited on a gentleman. He's been one of our customers for at least 30 years. I know that when they come in, what they want and how they like it, and that's part of the reason they come here. And I've watched their kids grow up. Every day's a new story. We have homemade pasta salads, wonderful cottage cheese that's made for us rather than pre-packaged. All our dips are homemade with sour cream, real ingredients. You know, we do a lot of hands-on people that have small businesses also that we're helping as they're helping us. We knew we were great. We know our products are great. It was just getting the word out. And I grew up back here watching my mom treat people. And that's how you should treat people, and they will come back. You could absolutely find anything that you need in the cooking world. It's an experience that most people don't have in a grocery store. Hi, I'm Diane Dever, and I'm the proprietor of Irene Dever Dairy and Cheese.
The Meet the Vendor series is brought to you by Ohio City Inc. and the City of Cleveland. Click here to sign up for a newsletter that will keep you up to date on the Westside Market's year-long centennial celebration and all the other great things happening at the Westside Market.
Thank you for joining me today for this announcement. Over the last few days, this letter to the residents of Ward 16 has been delivered through the mail to each household in Ward 16. My intention is to retire from the Cleveland City Council at the end of this current term. Through this year, I will be one of 19 members of council who will vote on a new redistricting plan that creates 17 wards. I expect to work with my neighboring council members, Council President Sweeney, and the leadership team of council to create wards that respect the traditional neighborhoods and serve the needs and expectations of residents of our city. I want to thank my predecessor, Benny Bonanno, for giving me an opportunity to serve in the Cleveland City Council and work with the residents of my community. I consider this opportunity a true honor. Way back then, in 1979, when this occurred, City Hall was something like OK Corral, fought with conflict, and I felt that it was out of step with the needs of the citizens. Today, City Hall is much more in tune with people of the neighborhoods. The leadership of Frank Jackson, Council President Sweeney, is in keeping with the needs and aspirations of the people of our city. The recent passage of an operating levy for our schools is a primary example and a reflection of the respect that people have for our city leaders. When I was council president, we inscribed on this gavel, Cleveland City Council, the people's work. And that message and that motto has carried through in the decades that have followed. I want to thank Mayor Frank Jackson and Martin Sweeney for being here with me today, along with other members of the Cleveland City Council and the staff of the Cleveland City Council. Throughout this year, I, along with my executive assistant, Kathy Tierney, will continue to serve the people of Ward 16. And I want to thank the council staff and Mayor, your staff here in the city for the excellent service and dedication that our staff brings. I will continue the daily efforts to fight against the effects of the housing crisis and the mortgage meltdown. I will diligently vote on measures that come before the council, and in December of this year, cast my last vote as a member of the Cleveland City Council from this seat right here. However, if I'm blessed with continued good health, I envision continuing to be active in the stabilization and recovery of our neighborhoods by working to further the high-quality work of our community development corporations and focus on what I call the big three issues: safe neighborhoods, housing market recovery, and high-quality schools. So I will no longer be a member of the Cleveland City Council, but I will be what I consider the highest calling of Cleveland, an active citizen, engaged in the issues and the affairs of the city, both politically and civically. I'd like to ask my dear friends, Mayor Frank Jackson, Council President Martin Sweeney, to please join me, and then it'll be open for any questions and comments. Thank you. Mayor, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Did you want me to say?
Yes,
Councilman
please.
Westbrook.
Mr. President, that's good.
Well, you know, I remember when I first came into council in 1990, and I served under Council President Westbrook, and I remember voting for him for Council President. And I will tell you, during that 10 years that he was Council President, I served under him, he did several things. One was he really professionalized the office. Before then, it was helter-skelter kind of hit-and-miss thing, but he really professionalized it. He got his assistants. We all knew what our role was, and he allowed us as chair people to actually do our job without interfering, and which was important to me because I didn't know what I was doing. But he made me chairman.
He did know what he was doing.
He made me chairman of health, and it really helped me to grow and better understand council. But the third thing, which I think is the most important thing, is that I was asked by a media person once about then Mayor White and Council President Jay Westbrook and what was the relevancy of the council presidency. And I asked them if they liked what was happening with the Brown Stadium, if they liked what was happening with Gateway, if they liked what was happening in the neighborhoods and things like that. They said yes. I said, well, how do you think that would have been possible without the council president, Jay Westbrook? And so to me, that is the most important thing that he brought to the job was, as I tell the council president Sweeney now, that the mayor does what he does, but all the discussion and all of the interaction is in the council, and a good council president will make that happen and make it happen for the benefit of the people, and that's what Jay Westbrook did. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh-oh.
It's the graybeard section.
Yes. As Council President Martin J. Sweeney, it's a privilege. I started with Jay in 1997. I sat on the same black couch that we currently still have, and he asked me to support him as council president. I asked him two things: don't hurt me or don't hurt my neighborhood. And he never did that, and he's still my council president because I never voted against him. What is Jay Westbrook? Cleveland to his core. Even though he wasn't born here, the neighborhoods, even when he was council president, the neighborhoods were a significant importance to him. We're going to miss Jay Westbrook a ton on Cleveland City Council. I can't stress, I'm a little bit concerned how the council is going to continue from 2014 to 2018 without a guy named Councilman Jay Westbrook. The moral compass is something that comes to me as I reflect on a council without Jay. His advocacy as a council person I know will continue as a private citizen. But in my eyes, once a council person, always a council person, and council person emeritus Jay Westbrook, these doors are going to be wide open, and don't be shy. You're still on speed dial, and I'll be calling you regularly. I'm going to miss you, Jay, but we have a lot of work to do, and I expect you at council tomorrow at 9:30, our next committee meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Majority leader and numero uno here. Phyllis. I tell you, this, when I talk about the team that's in place, I mean it. I mean, this is what the people have worked hard for and deserve. And it's Mayor Jackson talked about coming in 1990, and we had 10 great years together, and then he became council president. And it's a continuum that this city deserves, the people have fought for, and we're very, very honored. I'm so honored to stand with all of you today. The majority leader of the City Council, Phyllis Cleveland.
Thank you, Jay. Well,
Tell a good story.
I don't think I can. I just want to say, Jay, and we'll talk more, and certainly in our last council meeting we'll have words to say, but just to know that I knew you before I was ever in City Council. As a young person in the cities, following what was happening in politics, your name was always very prominent, and I know of your work in the neighborhoods. You know Garden Valley.
I do know Garden Valley.
You know my neighborhood. You worked in my neighborhood, so I know you're a person that really has a heart for the people.
I know Carver Athwaite, too.
Absolutely. And I just think, you brought so much, and you still bring so much to the table for all of us. Your intellect and your wisdom, and even your waxing philosophical. There's always a point, and believe me, a lot of us are listening to you. So it's going to be hard when you're gone, but we know that you're not far away. So
that's right.
But I just want to say personally that I appreciate all that you've done, all your service, and all that you will continue to do for our city.
That's so kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come on. Majority Whip. I didn't expect.
Jay,
Kevin Kelly.
you will be greatly missed. And, one thing, I too knew Jay before I came to council. And I remember when I was a Jesuit volunteer in 1991, there was a protest about the state cuts. And who was there but Jay Westbrook was the only council person when I was, young advocate for homeless, and who was there providing leadership in the city but Jay. Since I came here, Jay's been just a great example, a great person to learn from. And I'll say something about Jay's role in leadership. He's not a member of leadership, but this is the person who was constantly challenging us, constantly agitating. If there was an issue that the council needed to take more seriously, Jay was there, and he was the one that was almost obnoxious about certain points. But
you never told me that.
Sure I did. But eventually we got to a better place. The legislation was better. The partnerships were stronger. And, with Jay is going to go great institutional knowledge of this body that he cares so much about. But I know he won't be too far. I know he won't be more than a phone call away when we need Jay to talk about an issue that's coming up. I'm hoping we can count on you to go forward.
That.
So excellent.
That.
Well, Jay, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
This was great.
It's been great.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Come on, Terrell. My gosh, man. The bright shining star here.
On a mission.
I know Lee Harvard, too.
Definitely. There's something to be said about legacy and your tenure of service. I remember when you were elected to a council president, we were reading about it when I was in the 6th grade.
Okay, I knew this was coming.
But obviously, it's just your years of service. You've been a tremendous help for me, your institutional knowledge, the way that you were able to give us a historical perspective and explain things, and also had a vision for where the city should be in the future. I'm really going to be missed, and I enjoy our conversations, and we're going to be leaning on you awful much.
God bless you.
Thanks.
Man. Thank you so much. Well, they said it a lot better than I could. Wow. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Well, I think it does. I think it was kind of summed up in what people have said here. That it's a little bit like the old saying, "There go my people. Let me catch up with them." I felt that the citizens of the city needed a more responsive city hall. I think I've played a role in helping that happen. I think there are a lot of other things that help shape that to happen. This is a real time of opportunity for the city, and I said it in my remarks about the school levy, Mayor, that the mayor had the level of respect and confidence of the voters that which really reflected all of us and our hopes that our schools would achieve the quality that we want to see. So what I'm saying is that it's the leadership that is coming out of Cleveland City Hall. I think that the council is a shaping ground. It's a place where It's a little bit of your training wheels. You get to try your voice, and this has become a place of real respect. And I think it's reflected in that, in the levy. The mayor mentioned the professionalization of the council and the quality of work that comes out of here. I once was told by a member of the news media, I asked him, I said, why don't you take a look at what we're doing in the Cleveland City Council? This was when we weren't throwing chairs, we were throwing out ideas and taking, working on innovation. The member of the news media said, well, you're just doing your job. We call that dog bites man. We don't take an interest in that. And I came to understand that the media generally doesn't take an interest in just doing your job. So I would say, in a real way, council as a place for harmony and leadership, and also a city hall, a place where it does its job. The council president asked me 7 years ago to take a leadership role on the housing crisis and how we work to mitigate the negative effects of the housing crisis. And we've come a long way in addressing that. Councilman Brancatelli, and chair of our Community and Economic Development Committee, plays a major role in that. And that work continues on a daily basis, and that will occupy a lot of my time, a lot of my focus in this closing year, and also in the years ahead. I think that we would all agree that the housing crisis is not going to be over with in anybody's short-term vision, and so it's years in the cleaning up and turning around. I call it stabilization and recovery. So those are two key areas.
For years, I always wondered how Jay got things done. And he always would try to figure it out. He'd go around this way, he'd go around that way. And one day he named it. He called it the Westbrook Razzle Dazzle. And once I figured out the name of the Westbrook Razzle Dazzle, I knew what was up. So Jay would never stop working towards something he truly believed in. It wasn't always consistent with everybody's, but it was consistent with him, and he always moved forward. So the Westbrook Razzle Dazzle will be retiring, and I'm very thankful.
Michael?
I wish you the best.
Okay.
And from my observation all my years here, Jay always did his best to serve his constituents, always did his best to represent their needs and interests, and I want to just say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, man. All right. Mike might not remember this, but I was part of an effort that campaigned for him in 1977. And we had one of the things that preceded my coming to council was founding an organization that exists today called Ohio Citizen Action. And we distributed throughout the city a flyer that said, you can't run Cleveland if you sell it out. And we talked about the practice of tax abatement for downtown real estate and trying to give away the light system. And Mike was one of a couple of people that were elected in that election along those kinds of themes. Miss Lewis was another person we campaigned for, and she didn't make it that time, but she made it 2 years later into Cleveland City Council. So the drumbeat of change and reform continues on. All right? Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you.